Hey guys, so in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this dinosaur design, which was not designed by me, but was designed by Zimmy. So if you don't know who Zimmy is, you should check her out, obviously, but I feel like Zimmy's been in the Loom community forever, and I've also done tutorials for her before, so thank you so much to Zimmy for letting me make a tutorial for this dinosaur design. I absolutely love it, and I am very happy you trusted me to make the tutorial for it. But yeah, this is a design, like I said, I think it's absolutely adorable. She actually entered this, I think she posted this design for the first time to enter it into my summer Loom contest. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, it is so adorable. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. And I decided to reach out to her to see if she would let me make the tutorial for it. And she told me yes, so yeah, thank you so much, Zimmy. You should definitely check her out. I will be linking her Instagram, and I think she has a YouTube channel as well down below if you want to check her out anywhere else. I think she does make tutorials sometimes, so she has some tutorials for her own designs, and she's designed a lot of amazing things, so you should definitely check her out if you have not. But yeah, this dinosaur design, it is so adorable. I gave this dinosaur a bow tie just because it felt appropriate. I don't know, I finished this dinosaur, I was like, he looks naked, he needs something, and I gave him a bow tie. But yeah. So difficulty-wise, I feel like it's not a difficult design. It's just one of those designs that has a lot of attaching. So if attaching is something you struggle with, just consider that before you make this design. I really don't think it's super hard, and like, it's not that bad. It's just there's a little bit of attaching because we have to attach all these spikes, and then we attach the tail, and we attach every single leg. So yeah, there's a little bit of attaching, but other than that, we should be good. But yeah, so you're gonna want to get whatever band colors you want for your dinosaur. Today I'm gonna be using, for the main color, so the dark green here, I'm gonna be using Neptune solar bands, so these bands here. And then for the spikes today, I'm gonna be using a couple different colors, but they're all from the tropical mix. So we've got a green, some orange, some pinks, and they're all from the tropical mix. And that'll be my spikes today. Of course, you're gonna need a hook. Today I'm gonna be using my double-ended hook. You don't have to use a double-ended hook. You can use a crochet hook, a Rainbowloom hook, a plastic hook, whatever you had, but you are gonna want some kind of hook. You're also gonna need some stuffing. I actually remembered to say the stuffing at the start of this video. Just to stuff your dinosaur, if that's something you want to stuff, you can use polyfill. I usually use cotton balls. I'll be using cotton balls again today. And you're gonna want an eye or a safety eye if you want to put that, but if you don't have a safety eye, you can use a bead, a band, whatever you have. But I will be using a safety eye today, and these are 4mm just safety eyes. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. And yeah, we'll get started. As always, the band count and the pattern will be in the description. I don't have the band count as of right now when I'm filming this intro. I was about to say intro, I'm filming the whole tutorial today. As of when I'm filming this tutorial, I do not have the band count, but if you need the band count, you can check down in the description box below. If I was to guess, I would say that this dinosaur is around like 200 to 300 bands. You can check the description to see if I'm wrong, but yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we're gonna get started on these dinosaurs. I hope you decide to make one. I absolutely love them, and I'm super, once again, thank you so much, Zimmy, for letting me make a tutorial for this. I think this is such a cute design. And I'm excited I get to make a tutorial because I think did I already say this? I refilmed the intro 3 times because I messed up the first 2, so. But yeah, I really like this design and I'm excited to make another dinosaur. But yeah. It's also been a minute since I've made a tutorial. If you keep up with my channel, you know it's been like 2 months, so you're probably like, Ginger, you seem a little shaky in the intro. It's because I'm rusty. It's been a minute. I remember, I think before I came to college, I think it was the winter before I came. Was it the winter? Yeah, it was like this, I want to say like, it was probably like December 2020. I did like 12 days of tutorials, and I posted a tutorial every day for 12 days. I don't think it was 12 consecutive days, but I did like 12 tutorials in the month of December. And I got so good at making tutorials that month just because of how much I did it. So maybe I just need to make tutorials more often. I know you guys are like, yes, Ginger, you do, but school, guys. School keeps me too busy. I feel like my hands look so dry. I'm so sorry. I was doing ceramics before I filmed, and if you don't know, ceramics dries your hands out a ton. So I put cream on my hands, but they still look all dry. That's just kind of like a thing that happens when you do ceramics. I'm so sorry for how my hands look. Okay. Let's see if I can find an angle where the light is maybe a little bit better. There we go. That's some better lighting. Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, the pattern is in the description box below, but we're gonna get started. So to start, we're gonna wrap a band 3 times around our hook. So let me just make sure we're focused real quick. So we're gonna take a band, we're gonna wrap it, this is gonna be 1, 2, and then 3. And then we're gonna be putting 6 stitches into this cat band. So we're just gonna pull a band through everything on our hook, put both ends back on our hook, oop, and then push the back one over the front one. And that'll be our first stitch. So we're gonna repeat that 6 more times, not 6 more times, 5 more times. So we have 6 loops in total in our cat band, but if you didn't see what I did, I'm gonna show you again. So we're gonna go back through the whole cat band. So make sure you go back through all 3 loops. Then you're gonna pull a band through just the cat band, so not this last loop here. You're gonna put both ends back on your hook. You're gonna push this back loop over the front loop. And then you're gonna push this loop from last time over as well. And then we're gonna go back through the cat band. Pull a band through just the cat band. Ooh, just the cat band. Both ends back on our hook. Back one over the front one. Loop from last time over as well, like that. So I'll show you again. We'll go through the cat band, pull the band through just the cat band, both ends back on our hook, back one over the front one, loop from last time over as well. So we're at 4 stitches right now. Like I mentioned, we need 6 total. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 more stitches and then we're gonna count to make sure we have 6. So I'm just doing the same thing we've been doing. I'm just going a little quicker so this tutorial isn't 57 billion years long, I don't know. But yeah, so I did 2 stitches. Now I'm just gonna count to make sure I have 6 stitches in my cat band, and to do that we're just gonna count the loops. So we'll start by counting the one on our hook. So this one's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once we've made sure we have 6 loops, we're gonna go in through this first loop here instead of the cat band. So we're not going in through the cat band, we're going in through this loop right here. And then we're gonna just pull the band just like before, just through the loop, both ends back on our hook, push the back one over the front one, and then this is where we're gonna put our C-clip. And I just realized I forgot to get a C-clip. I'm so prepared. You know, I remembered to say you guys needed stuffings. I forgot to tell you you need something to mark your rows with. That could be C-clip, S-clip, paper clip, an extra band, just something to mark where you start and end. It doesn't have to be a C-clip. Sorry. So that's our first row. For the next row we are going to be increasing everything, and all that means is that every single stitch we do is going to be an increase. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry, I'm going to show you. But yeah. So all it increases is you're basically putting 2 stitches in every loop. This first loop here already has 1 stitch in it, but because we're increasing everything, we want to go back in and do another stitch. So we're going to go in through that same loop. We're going to pull a band through just that loop. Put both ends back on our hook. Push the back one over the front one. Push the loop from last time over as well. And now you can kind of see that there's 2 stitches in this one loop. That's our increase. So if you're confused by increasing, that's okay. Usually the one that has a C-clip on is a little confusing. So we're gonna go to the next loop and we're gonna increase again because we're increasing everything. So every single stitch we're doing is gonna be an increase. But yeah, we're gonna go into this first loop here. Well, the next loop. We're gonna pull a band through, make a stitch, go back in, make another stitch, and that's an increase. And I did that one kind of fast, so I'll show you again. We come to the next loop, we make 1 stitch, then we go back into that same loop, do another stitch, and that'll be our increase. I'm sorry, I felt like we were out of focus. Are we out of focus? There we go. But yeah, so we're just going to continue doing that all the way around until we get back to the C-clip. We're just putting 2 stitches in each loop. And yeah. And at the end of this row, we should be at 12 loops. And I'm gonna need to pick up more bands in a second. Oh, actually, we might have just enough. And then once you get to the C-clip, you're just gonna make a single stitch on the one that has the C-clip on it. So we're just gonna do one stitch in that loop, like that. And then we're gonna take the C-clip off this band here and we're gonna move it up onto the band that is on our hook. So we're just gonna take it off and then move it up onto that stitch we just made. So now if we count around, we should be at 10 loops, not 10, 12 loops. So I'm just gonna count real quick, and once again we start by counting the one on our hook. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like that. And I need to pick up more bands. There we go. More bands. And of course now my battery light is blinking. Hold up, we're gonna have to take a second. Oh my god, I put this battery in, this already at half. We're fine for a minute at least. Okay, so for the next row we're going to be increasing every other, and what that basically means is that every other stitch we do is going to be did I say decrease? I meant increase. We're increasing every other. So every other stitch we do is going to be an increase, and if you don't know what that means, basically we're just alternating between doing a single stitch and then an increase, and then a single stitch and then an increase. So this first one here with a C-clip on it is going to count as our single stitch, so the next one we do is going to be an increase. So single stitch, so the next one increase. So we're going to do 2 stitches in this loop. So 1 and then 2. And then because we just increased, the next one we do is going to be a single stitch, so we're just going to do 1 stitch in this loop. And then because we just did a single stitch, the next stitch we do is going to be an increase. So we're just going to keep doing this all the way around, alternating between doing increases and single stitches. Basically we're just doing 2 stitches in one loop for the increases and then 1 stitch per loop for the single stitches. And we're just alternating doing that, like I said, all the way around. You know, it really does feel weird filming a tutorial after not filming one for a while. Like, maybe it's just me being me, but I keep thinking like, oh my god, am I doing everything right? Am I explaining properly? Am I acting different? I don't know. It's been a minute since I've made a tutorial, and I've missed looming, but kind of feels weird being back. I don't know why. School has taken up so much of my time. If you're like, Ginger, where the heck have you been? Because if you've been keeping up with my channel, and you're watching this around the time it comes out, you're like, Ginger, you finally made a tutorial, but you were gone for so long. The only answer to that is it's just school. School keeps me busy. And yeah, I kind of can't like slack off on school. It's also just been a crazy couple months for me, so yeah. But yeah, almost to the C-clip. Okay. So once you get to the C-clip, you're just going to make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, and you're going to go ahead and move it up. Like that. So now if we count around, we should be at 18 loops. So we're going to start by once again counting the one on our hook. So we're going to have we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 6, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, we do have 18 loops, I just can't count. So yeah, your dinosaur should be looking something like this. And for the next 2 rows, we're just going to be doing 2 rows of single stitches. So we're just doing 2 rows normal, no increasing, just single stitches all the way around. And at the end of each of these 2 rows, we should still be at 18 loops. So yeah, all we're going to do is we're just going to do 1 stitch per loop, which is a single stitch, and we're doing that all the way around. So we're just not increasing. I'm just doing 1 stitch in every single loop until we get to the C-clip. So I'm just going to talk a little bit while we do these 2 rows because I don't want to go off camera, but I also don't want us to just loom in silence. So yeah, like I mentioned, I haven't filmed a tutorial in a while. I've been really busy with school. If you don't know, I'm currently in school to get my BFA as of when I'm filming this. I'm currently in school to get my BFA in art, so yeah, it keeps me busy, and honestly, it's just been a crazy couple months for me. So yeah, I haven't had a ton of time to film tutorials, and I've definitely missed it, so it's good to be back, but school just keeps me so busy. And yeah. And the only reason I really get to film it tonight is I'm actually having a slow homework weekend this weekend, and also I'm kind of in pain, which sounds weird, but I never got my wisdom teeth out, and I'm around the age when your wisdom teeth start bugging you. I feel like if you talk to any 20-year-old, they probably can tell you like some kind of wisdom tooth. Like everyone around my age is just having wisdom tooth problems, I feel, because I'm like 23, and I feel like everyone around this age just like their wisdom teeth start annoying them. Well, my wisdom teeth started hurting really bad this week, and I was at the studio earlier today, but the art was just not happening, so I decided to take the evening off. And then I was like, why don't I just film a tutorial? So I'm filming a tutorial, but honestly, I'm kind of in pain. But it's okay. Anyways, that was the first row. Well, not the first row, but the first row of single stitches. We have to do 2 rows. So, like I said, at the end of the first row, we should still be at 18 stitches. I'm gonna go ahead and count to make sure I have 18 at the end of the second row. But if you think you messed up, you should definitely count to make sure you're still at 18 stitches. And yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the second row of single stitches, and yeah. But yeah. Honestly though, my wisdom teeth, like I feel like I'm talking a little funny, and I'm like, is that because of like, am I picking up the accent from this area? No, it's probably not that. It's probably because my wisdom teeth, yeah, all of them, teeth, or I was supposed to say tooth, but then I was like, no, they all kind of hurt. Tooth is really hurting today. Like I literally cannot eat anything super crunchy right now unless I want to be in pain. But I'm going to the dentist this week, so I might get them removed, which is terrifying. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate the dentist. I know, like, it's good to go to the dentist and take care of your teeth and the whole thing, but I've had braces twice, and the first experience, my first time with braces was really bad, so I feel like I just really hate the dentist now because of that. So I really do not want to go to the dentist. I'm going to the dentist first, and then we'll see where they send me from there, because if I do need to get them removed, they're probably going to send me to some kind of like other dentist who like, I think they're like oral surgeons to take out my wisdom teeth. So we'll see how that goes, especially because I'm still in school. Like I cannot imagine how the heck I'm going to deal with like getting my teeth out while I'm in school. I'm not joking, you guys, I do homework from like every day, all day. And then I have like maybe an hour free in the evenings sometimes, but that's it. So if I have to get my wisdom teeth removed and take like a couple days off, I can't even imagine doing that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes, but it is the reason I have time to film tonight, because I was doing art and I had to come home because I was just so hungry, and then I was gonna go get food on campus, but then when I looked at what was open on campus, I was like, they all have really crunchy food, and that's gonna be a painful experience. So I ended up just making food and coming home. Well, coming home to make food. I didn't make food and then come home. I came home to make food. And now we're having another battery warning, I swear. I thought I had all these charged. Okay, batteries flipped. Yeah, we're almost there. Focus. It was so, I went to change the battery and I put the other one to charge, so that way in case this one dies, I have a backup. And my brain was not functioning because I put the fully charged battery on the charger, and I was like, well, so yeah. Don't we love when I film tutorials late at night? Anyways, that's the second row of single stitches. So we're gonna count around to make sure we're still at 18. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. So now we're gonna start decreasing a little bit. Basically, we're making the head first, so we're like right here. And now we're gonna start like decreasing in to make him a chin. Okay, I'm just reading my instructions. So we're gonna start decreasing on the 5th, and then we're gonna do 5 decreases in a row, and then the rest of the way will be single stitches. So I'll show you how we count. So this first one with the C-clip on it is gonna be our first stitch. So we're gonna go do single stitches until the 5th. So we're gonna do like 4 single stitches in a row. So this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then on this next one here, we're gonna do our first decrease. So we just did 4 single stitches, and then on this 5th one, we're gonna do our first decrease. And like I said, we're gonna be doing 5 decreases in a row. So this is gonna be the first one, and we're gonna just do 5 in a row. So if I haven't showed you how to decrease yet, so if you don't know how to decrease, all you do is you're gonna grab the inside part of one loop, and then the back part of the next loop, and then we're gonna make our stitch on this. So we just pull the band through everything, back one over the front one, and then loop from last time over as well. And I'll show you again. Luckily we're doing 5 decreases in a row, so this is the first one. If you already know how to decrease, you can get ahead and go ahead and do the other 4. But yeah, so we're gonna do another decrease because we're doing the 5 in a row. So we grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch, and we just keep doing this until we have 5 decreases. So that was 2 for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep going until I have 5. It's 3, and like I said, we're just grabbing inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, you just make a stitch. And then once you've made, once you've done your 5 decreases in a row, the rest of the way is just going to be single stitches until we get to the C-clip. You know, I haven't used solar bands in a while, and I'm so excited that I'm using solar bands for this dinosaur because I'm totally going to take him on campus with me and I'm going to take a photo. And he's going to change colors. I love solar bands so much, and I don't use them as much as I should. I really should just buy a bunch of solar bands. Anyways. That's the end of that row. So if we count now, we should be at 13 loops. So we're gonna go ahead and start by counting the one on our hook. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like that. So we're gonna do something kind of similar for this next row here. We're gonna start decreasing on the 3rd, and then we're gonna do 3 decreases in a row, and then the rest of the way will be single stitches again. So it's very similar to the last row, but this time we start decreasing on the 3rd loop. I also don't know what that random thought was about the solar bands. Every time I film tutorials at night, I feel like I'm extra chatty for one, and then also my brain's a little everywhere because I was just like, man, love solar bands. Yeah. It's called Ginger filming tutorials at nighttime. Lovely. You guys get this marvelous experience. I don't know. I listen to Taylor, I'm picking up bands by the way, I'm not just talking aimlessly, but I listen to Taylor Swift and I've kind of been obsessed with The Last Great American Dynasty, and she says like I had a marvelous time ruining everything, so I've been saying the word marvelous a lot. That's actually the background on my phone right now is, I don't know, I can show you. We're getting so distracted. I'm not gonna show you, I just dropped my phone. It's fine. Next row, anyways. Yeah, me filming tutorials at night, always a journey. So like I said, we're doing something similar to this row. So this first one is gonna be our first stitch. So this next one's the second one. So we're just gonna do 2 single stitches. So we have the one with the C-clip on it, and then we did one more. And now we're gonna do 3 decreases in a row. So just like last row, we're gonna grab the inside part of one loop, and then the back part of the next loop. Then we just make our stitch. If I didn't let go of the loops. If our camera was in focus, that would also be very helpful. We go. And then we're just gonna do 3 decreases in a row, so the next one will be a decrease as well. And then we'll do one more decrease, so we have 3. And then like I said, after that we're just gonna do single stitches the rest of the way until we get to the C-clip. I'm sorry, my camera keeps going out of focus. So yeah, we're just doing single stitches until we get to the C-clip. Okay. So that's actually pretty much it for the decreasing for the head. And then after this, we're gonna start increasing again for the body. I absolutely love this design, honestly. anyways, so that's it for that row. So we're gonna count real quick. We should be at 10 loops now. So if we count, we should have 10. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And your dinosaur head should be looking a little something like this. It should kind of look like a head, honestly. I mean, it already looks like, yeah. So for the next row, we're gonna be increasing every other again. So this is just like exactly the same as the thing we did earlier. We're gonna be alternating between doing a single stitch and an increase. And we're gonna do this all the way around, and at the end of this row, we should be at 15 loops. And then after this row, it gets a little repetitive for a while, because we're gonna be on the body portion. I'm getting ahead of myself, it's fine. But yeah, once again, I'm just picking up bands. So like I said, this is very similar to the row we did earlier, so this one will once again count as our single stitch, so the next one's going to be an increase, so we're just gonna put 2 stitches in this loop. And like I said, we're increasing every other, so we're just alternating. So because I just did an increase, the next one's gonna be a single stitch. And then because I just did a single stitch, the next one's gonna be an increase. So we're just gonna keep alternating between doing an increase and a single stitch until we get to the C-clip. So I just finished my increase. Next one's a single stitch. And I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see what I'm doing right now, and that's just because of how the head is. It'll get a little bit easier to see what I'm doing later, but honestly, because this is like a repetition row of a row we did before, I'm not too worried about you guys seeing what I'm doing. Because hopefully you got this. I think you got this. So we're just gonna increase, single stitch. And then once you get to the C-clip, you'll just make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, move it up. So now if we count around, we should be at 15 loops. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so like I said, now it's going to get a bit repetitive. We're gonna do 6 rows of single stitches just going around this. So at the end of each of these 6 rows, you should still be at 15 loops. And this part is just very repetitive, so I'm gonna stay on and I'm gonna do the first 2 rows with you. Then I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna do the other 4 rows, and then we'll come back and finish the dinosaur together. But like I said, I'm gonna stay on camera and do the first 2 rows with you so you can get kind of what we're doing, even though I bet you already got it and you've already paused the video and you've already left. It's fine. But for those of you who wanna stay, we can loom together for a second. Or if you need to follow along for a bit, whichever it is. And I just accidentally hit my camera. So just like before, we're just gonna do, like when we did the 2 rows of single stitches, now we're just doing 6. So we're just doing 1 stitch per loop until we get to the C-clip. And like I already said earlier, at the end of each of these rows, you should still be at 15 loops. So you know how I mentioned earlier my wisdom tooth was in pain? Just from talking right now, my face kind of hurts. Not to be one to complain, I don't want to complain this whole video, but I am in a bit of pain. But it's okay. I'll live. I'll eventually get it removed and everything will be fine. But, yeah. It's funny because it hurts when I smile, and right now because I'm like talking and obviously I'm happy looming, I guess. My face hurts because yesterday I have a new friend who, he lives in my apartment building. We work at the same place, so if you don't know, I work on campus at the dining center here, and we discovered we live in the same apartment complex, so I hang out with him sometimes. Like literally yesterday he messaged me, he's like, I'm getting food, do you want to just join me? And like I had already eaten, so I literally just go ride in the car with him while he gets food, and I absolutely don't mind because sometimes I am in the studio for like ridiculously long hours working on paintings. So I'm a painting major in school, so most of my homework is paintings, and I paint like long hours in the studio, so sometimes it's just nice to like go out with a friend for a tiny bit and just talk. Literally he'll just tell me about his day and I'll tell him about mine. But yeah, it's been fun having a friend in my apartment complex. But yeah, I was hanging out with him yesterday and he was making me laugh and my face started hurting. So apparently I just can't be happy right now. At least until my wisdom tooth's fixed, because it's kind of painful. Anyways, that was the first row of single stitches. So if we were to count around, we would still be at 15 loops. I'm gonna go ahead and do the second row and then I'll count around with you guys. And then after that, I'll leave, do the other 4 rows, and then we'll come back and, like I said, finish the dinosaur together. But that was 1 row, so we're gonna go ahead and do the next row. So we just continue doing single stitches all the way around until we get to the cyclope. But yeah, honestly, having a friend in my apartment complex has been fun, because like when you want to go out with people, sometimes it's like, ugh, I gotta leave the building and like go outside and like walk to their place. But no, it's amazing because he literally lives, because I'm on like one of the top floors of my apartment complex and he lives 2 floors below me. So like sometimes he'll just message me and he's be like, me and my friends are watching a movie, would you like to join us? And I'm like, yeah, I would. And I just go 2 floors down, and it's kind of nice because I can stay as late as I want, because all I have to do is climb 2 flights of stairs back up and then I'm back at my place. I hate walking around like alone at night, so I try not to stay out late, but it's kind of fun because with him I don't have to worry about walking home alone late, because he usually walks me back to my place even though I'm just 2 floors up, or he'll walk me to the stairs or something. Or like he'll walk me up 1 flight of stairs and then I'll go up the last flight and then he'll go down 1 flight to go back to his. But yeah, it's been nice. It's also interesting because he's a film major and he found out I have a YouTube channel. I don't think he'll ever watch this video, but it's okay. If he does, I really don't care. But I've kind of also been wanting to ask him about my camera, because like I have this camera I used to film, obviously, and like I know how to use it, but I feel like there's so much settings on this camera that I just don't know how to use. Like the camera I bought to film tutorials is honestly a pretty good camera, but I feel like I just don't know how to use it. So I've been wanting to take it to him and just be like, please show me how to use all the settings. So maybe I'll do that at some point. If you see my tutorials like suddenly jump really high in quality, it's because he helped me out. But anyways, that is the second row of single stitches. So we're gonna go ahead and count around just to make sure we're still at 15 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Why do I have 16? 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I like to separate them in 5. So like this is 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, we have 15. So like I said, we have to do 6 rows total of single stitches. We just did the first 2 rows together, but just so this tutorial's not ridiculously long, I'm gonna go off camera, do the other 4 rows, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how to finish up your dinosaur. Okay, so I just finished doing the 4 extra rows, so we are at 6 rows total right now. So you should have done 6 rows of single stitches total, and your dinosaur should be looking something like this. And if you lost track of rows, if I'm being perfectly honest, if your dinosaur has an extra row, it's probably not the biggest deal. If he also doesn't have an extra row, your dinosaur's either just gonna be a little longer or shorter. It's not a huge deal, but you can count, and I'm gonna try my best not to confuse you with this, but you can see the row where we increased. You could just count the stitches after that, so you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Counting is a little confusing with Loomigurumi, and it took me a while to get it, so honestly, if you have an extra row, if you don't have an extra row, it's fine. If you have the perfect amount, you're good too. But we're gonna move on to the next step. So now we are going to be decreasing every other. So also, by the way, we should still be at 15 loops. If you didn't count, you should count to make sure you have 15 loops. But yeah, we're gonna get to decreasing. So we're gonna be decreasing every other, which is very similar to increasing every other, but instead of alternating between doing a single stitch and an increase, we're gonna now alternate between doing a single stitch and a decrease. So pretty much the same thing, just with the decreases now. So once again, this first one will be our single stitch, so the next one's gonna be a decrease. So we're gonna go to the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, and then just make a stitch. And then because we just decreased, the next one will be our single stitch. And then because we just did a single stitch, the next one will be our decrease. So we grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch. Well, we're going to do a single stitch, Then grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop. So we're just once again alternating between doing single stitches and decreases until we get to the C-clip. Interesting. I'm sorry, I had my phone next to me. My family texted me something. At least I think it was my family who texted me, and I'm like, what are they talking about? But it's not important. I'm making sure I didn't accidentally just decrease twice in a row, because I think I might have. I did accidentally decrease twice in a row. Did I decrease 3 times in a row? Oh no, I did it right. Never mind. I know what I'm doing. And once you get to the C-clip, you're going to make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, and you're going to move it up. So now if we count around, we should be at 10 loops. So you're going to want to count real quick. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're going to want to stuff him. And I just realized I forgot all my stuffing, so I'm going to just grab it. It's literally like right behind me, so it's going to take like not even a second. Usually I pause the video, but my stuffing was literally right behind me, so I just grabbed it. I'm going to be using cotton balls to stuff. You can use polyfill. I've also stuffed loom things with tissues before. If you're really desperate for stuffing, you can like tear up some tissues and, I'm sorry, and stuff your loom creation with that. But we're just going to stuff them real quick. You can take out your hook and just let it hang on with the C-clip if that's easier. I find it easier to do that. Just don't be too like aggressive when you're stuffing it, or like your project will start to undo. But yeah, we're just gonna stuff them really quick. You know, this design actually probably would be so fun stuffed with polyfill, because polyfill tends to make like loom creations like more squishy. But I don't have any polyfill with me right now because I'm in college. Actually, we don't have any polyfill at home either. I just need to buy more polyfill. But yeah. I'm just gonna finish stuffing him off camera because I always have such a hard time stuffing on camera. There's 2 things I still can't do on camera after having a YouTube channel for like 5 years. And it's tucking and tails and stuffing. I don't know what it is. No matter how long I have this channel, it still has not gotten easier for me. Also, I have my phone next to me and I keep seeing my family text. It's because my dad, he went to eat German food. So they're just having a whole conversation about food. And I turned my phone off because I kept seeing it blink on and I'm like, what is happening? But they're just being silly in our group chat. Normally they don't text me that much, but my dad is out of town as well, so it's like he's not with them and then I'm out of town, so they're all just, well, I'm technically out of town when I'm in university. I'm obviously not with my parents, so yeah, they're just texting me a ton today. They're also kind of worried because you know how I mentioned my wisdom tooth thing? I mentioned it to them. And they're like, oh no, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm okay. Just in a bit of pain, but otherwise, doing good. Yeah. Anyways, I have finished stuffing. That took a second. But my dinosaur is stuffed. Oh my god, I am so excited for this dinosaur. Honestly, he's gonna be so cute. I'm gonna have to take a photo of all 3 of my dinosaurs on campus. It's fine. But yeah. So now we are going to be decreasing everything until closed, and what this basically means is that every single stitch we do is going to be decreased until we can't decrease anymore. And I'm just gonna pick up a few bands, so I'll be ready. So like I said, every single stitch we do is just gonna be a decrease until we can't do it anymore. So inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, then we just make a stitch. We just keep doing this until we can't do it anymore. And at this point we can take the C-clip out. And I'm trying to make sure my camera's in focus because I know this part's kind of hard to see. But we're just gonna keep decreasing. And I think this next one's gonna be my last decrease. So once you have your final decrease up on your hook, you're just gonna take a band, and instead of pulling it through just the decrease, you're gonna pull it through everything on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And then we're just gonna hide this tail up into our dinosaur. Oh wow, I was able to hide that one on camera. Kinda, sorta. Like that. So now we have the body of our dinosaur. Obviously he needs a couple more things. So I think next we're gonna go ahead and do the, maybe we'll start with the tail. So we're gonna start with the tail, and then we'll do the arms, and then the legs, and the spikes. So I'm gonna pick up some bands real quick, and then we'll get started on the tail. So for the tail, we're literally just gonna come right to the back right here, and we're gonna stitch 9 times in a circle. So wherever you want the tail, you want to make sure that you're on the back though, because there is a front and a back to this design. It's just like directly opposite of wherever his head is, but you want to make sure you're definitely centered. Oh, I hate it because I can hear my ring light making like this tiny, like squeaking noise. And I do not like it. I'm like, ugh. And I want to turn it off, but it's like, if I turned off my ring light, like this tutorial would not look as good. Like I can show you for a second. Like it looks so weird. So we're gonna keep the light on, but it's definitely making a weird tiny little noise. Anyways, like I said, we're gonna stitch 9 times in a circle right here. So I like to start on the top, so I'm just gonna make sure I'm directly in back. And you're just gonna pick a spot where you want the tail. You want it to be obviously kind of like really low. You can see where it is on this guy. I'll leave him there so you can kind of see him. Actually, I don't think it's very helpful. We'll take him out. So I'm gonna come like right here. And we're just gonna stitch 9 times in a circle. So that's 1. And we're just picking up part of the dinosaur. 3. And making a stitch. 4. And there's kind of no reason to where I'm picking things up. I'm just going wherever I want the tail to be and just like picking up whatever my hook snags on and making a stitch onto that. Is this 4? How many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. And I'm just gonna try to make a circle and meet back at that first stitch. So this is 5, 6. Did I go too far out? We're good. 7, 8, and then 9. I find it helpful to count how many stitches I've done and then just try to make the tail like 9 stitches around. So now we're gonna want to count to make sure we're at 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like that. So once we've stitched like 9 times in a circle on the back of our dinosaur, we're gonna go through this first loop here, make a stitch, and put a C-clip on this one. Like that. And now we're gonna do 2 rows normal of just single stitches on the back. So we're just gonna go around this tail thing we made with 2 rows of single stitches, and at the end of each of these rows we should still be at 9 loops. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm sorry, my camera seems out of focus today. Do we need to adjust the light a little bit? Maybe. Sometimes my light seems a little intense. But yeah, we're just doing single stitches all the way around for 2 rows. And at the end of each of these rows, you should still be at 9 loops. So that was one row. Like I said, we have to do two, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other row. And at the end of this row, I'll count to make sure we're still at the correct number of loops. I'll just keep going around, trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. You know, I don't know why, but I've always loved cute dinosaurs like this. I feel like you guys can tell that based on like the cute dinosaurs I already have on my channel. But I also have a pair of shorts that has like dinosaurs on it, not all over it, but there's like 4 dinosaurs embroidered on the side, and they're like some of my favorite pairs of, well, they're one of my favorite pairs of shorts. They're also just really comfy. And like, I guess the other thing is I make a lot of, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably don't know this, but I like making clay dinosaurs. At the end of this tutorial, I'll show you one of the ones some of the ones I've made. Actually, a lot of my Loomigurumi dinosaurs were based off my clay dinosaurs, which is fun. So yeah, I love dinosaurs, so I really like this design. I feel like I said this earlier, and I'm not saying it just to be nice, like I genuinely like this design so much. It's a good design. Who doesn't love a dinosaur, honestly? Honestly, if I met someone and they were like, I hate dinosaurs, I would not be friends with them. Not actually, but like, maybe. Anyways, we're gonna count to make sure we're still at 9 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And your tail should be looking something like this. So now we are going to decrease every, wait, no, sorry, wrong spot. Oh no, we are decreasing every other. So we're gonna decrease every other, and at the end of this, we should be at 6 loops. I don't know why it said that I lisp there, like 6, I don't know. Anyway. But we're gonna do that. So once again, this first stitch is gonna count as our single stitch, so the next one's going to be a decrease. So we're gonna grab the inside part of one loop, and the back part of the next loop, and make a stitch. And then once again, we're alternating between doing single stitches and decreases, so our next stitch will be a single stitch. And then after the single stitch, our next one will be a decrease. And I know it's really hard to see what I'm doing right now, but that's just because of how small it is and I can't help it. But we just did a decrease, so our next one will be a single stitch. And then the final decrease is gonna land on the one with a C-clip on it. And we're gonna not do that decrease. So on the final decrease, it's gonna land on the one with the C-clip. We're not gonna do it, we're just gonna do a single stitch instead. And then we'll do a single stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, and move it up. Like that. And now if we count around, we should be at 6 loops, so we should have, it's really hard for me to show you guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we're gonna go ahead and do one row around this, and we're almost done, so don't worry if it's getting a little tiny for you. We're almost there. But yeah, we're just gonna do one row of single stitches around this very tiny end of tail bit. And this should be a fairly quick row because of how small it is. I'm really sorry if you can't see what I'm doing, but it's honestly just really tiny. Like, I can barely see what I'm doing. Then we'll move our C-clip up. Actually, at this point, we could take our C-clip out. We're going to want to count to make sure we still have 6 stitches, though. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we are going to decrease everything until closed. So we're just going to decrease until we can't decrease anymore. So every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease until we run out of decreases to do. And then once we have that very last decrease up on our hook, we're just going to take a band, pull it through everything on our hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And then we will hide our tail into the tail. Did I stuff this guy's tail? No, I didn't stuff any of their tails. I was worried I skipped a step there for a moment, but no, I didn't stuff the tails on my last 2 dinosaurs. You probably could. I feel like it's not really necessary. And there you go. Your dinosaur should now be having a tail. I don't know if I put this guy's a little low, but I think it's okay. I think it's about as low as this guy's was. It's fine. Anyways, so for the next step, I think we're gonna do the arms and then we'll do the legs. And I think I'm gonna do one arm, one leg, and then you can just rewind the tutorial to do the other arm and leg. So I'll show you how to do one arm, show you how to do one leg, then you'll pause the tutorial, either rewind or follow the pattern in the description and make the other one. Or maybe you'll just remember it if you have a really good memory. Yawning. You know, it's actually like 10 p.m. when I'm filming this, so it's a little bit late at night. I've been up since like 8 a.m. so I am a little tired. But we're gonna do the same thing as we did for the tail. We're gonna stitch 5 times in a circle right here on the front where we want the arm. So just like we did with the tail, we're just gonna stitch 5 times in a circle wherever you want the arm to be. And I think I'm gonna start, where should I go in? We'll go in right here. Let's go 1, and I like to count how many stitches I'm doing, which I think you could tell when I did the tail. This is 2, 3, 4, and then 5, I guess. I don't know if that's the best circle, that might be more of an oval, but I think it'll work. So we just want to count to make sure we did it 5 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll go through this first loop here, make a stitch, make a stitch, and then we'll put our C-clip on this one. And now we're just going to do 1 row around this of single stitches. And it's going to be really hard to see what I'm doing. Once again, kind of can't help it. It's just really tiny. When things get tiny like this, especially with attaching, it's so hard to show you guys what I'm doing. Like right now, I'm kind of looking around my camera to see what I'm doing just because it's so small. And then once we get to the C-clip, we'll do a single stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it. And we could move it up, but we're just going to take it out because now we're just going to decrease everything until it's closed. We're probably literally only going to do 2 decreases. Yeah, so this next decrease is going to already be my last one. And then once you have that last decrease up on your hook, you'll just pull a band through everything, tie it off, and then hide the tail into your dinosaur. And that would be an arm. Okay, so now we're gonna do the leg, and the leg is pretty much the arm, but we do an extra stitch. So we're gonna stitch 6 times in a circle, and then it's pretty much the same process, but I'm gonna show you how to do the leg just for tutorial sake. That's the purpose of this video. But we're gonna come wherever we want the leg. It's gonna be right here for me, and we're gonna stitch 6 times in a circle. So 1, make sure my camera's in focus. 2, that actually might be 2 on the side, we'll come here, 2, 3, 4, and if you don't know what I'm counting, I'm just counting how many times I'm stitching. 5, and 6. So once you've stitched 6 times in a circle, we're once again going to want to count to make sure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to go through this first loop here, make a stitch, put our C-clip on this one, and just like last one, we're going to do a row of single stitches around it. I heard a clunk noise and I don't know. Anyways, after we finish our row of single stitches, we're just going to decrease everything until it's closed. So at this point we can take our C-clip out, and we're just going to do decreases until we can't decrease anymore. And once you have that final decrease up on your hook, you're just going to pull a band through everything on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And then we'll hide our tail into our dinosaur, and we have our leg. So, like I already mentioned, I'm going to go off camera, I'm going to go do the other two legs, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you. I say we're, who's we're? It's just me here, I guess me and the dinosaur, I don't know. But then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to do the spikes and finish up the face. And yeah, but you're going to want to do, you could rewind if that's easier for you, or you could just remember how to do it. But you're going to want to give your dinosaur another arm, another leg on the opposite side, obviously. So yeah. Okay, so my dinosaur has arms and legs. One of his arms is a little crooked, but I've decided it adds to his character, so we're leaving it. But I'm going to show you how to do the spikes next. So you're going to need 6 spikes. I'm going to show you how to do 1, and then you're going to go and make the other 5. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to do 1. But you will need 6 total. I'm making the other green one right now. So to make a spike, what you're going to do, if my camera would focus, preferably in the center. Come on. Why doesn't it want to focus? It literally won't focus. There we go. Is we're going to wrap a band 3 times around our hook. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to be putting 4 stitches into this cap band. So we're going to pull a band through. Both ends back on our hook. And we're going to push the back one over the front one. And now we're going to go back through the cap band, pull a band through just the cap band, both ends back on our hook, back one over the front one, loop from last time over as well. And we're going to repeat that same thing we just did 2 more times, so we have 4 stitches in this cap band in total. So we'll do another stitch, go back in, do 1 more. And now you should be at 4 loops in this cap band, so if you count you should have 4, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to go back in through this first loop here, and it's going to be really kind of tight and weird. That's just because we only have 4 loops. And you're just going to do a single stitch on this first loop. And then we're going to put our C-clip on this one. Where'd my C-clip go? Oh, it's right here. So what we're going to do for the next row is we're going to increase every other. So we're alternating again between doing a single stitch and then an increase, and single stitch and an increase. So this one first one will be our single stitch, so the next one's going to be an increase. And then we'll do a single stitch. And we'll do an increase. And then once we get to the C-clip, you're going to pull a band through everything on your hook. Both ends back on our hook, and we're going to kind of leave it like this for now and take our C-clip out. So we're going to use this band, or at least I use this band, to tie the spike into the head. I found this easier, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Honestly, I think it's kind of better if you make the spikes as you go down your dinosaur. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this band. So I'm going to put both of these loops on my finger. And we're going to come wherever we want our first spike to be. So I'm gonna go right here. You're gonna want to go as close to the middle as possible. For me, there's not a direct center, so I'm just gonna try to get as close as possible. And we're just gonna tie it in. So all I did was push the back one over the front one and then pull it tight. And I realized I should have shown you that better, but I'll show you on the next one. And then what I like to do after I tie that one in is I like to come to the back here and grab like the other half of one of the loops, and then I'll tie the other half down also into the dinosaur. So I'll just go through, I'll pick a part of the loop, pick a part of the dinosaur, and then I'll pull a band in the spike color through everything on my hook, and then push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And that is how I will attach a spike. And then I will just repeat this process for all the spikes all the way down. So I would make them all, you can make them all first, or you can make them as you go, but I made mine and then kind of tied them off, so I can just like untie it really quick. And then I'll just put these loops on my finger, just like before. These are a little sticky because they've been on my desk for a while. And then I like to come exactly where I ended the last spike, so that exact same loop I went through, I'll go through it again. And then I'll just pull this band that has our spike on it through, push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And that's the part I did fast last time. So if you missed what I did on this first spike, I did that exact same thing just up there. And now we're gonna go through half, or the other half of our spike. And we're gonna come about right here. I don't know if I'm stretching them out too much. Once again, I'm gonna be using my spike color just so it matches. And we're gonna pull it through and then pull it tight. I honestly think I made that one a little too far like out, so I'm gonna go ahead and undo that last stitch we did and just move it back a little bit. And that's why I honestly recommend not hiding your tails as you go, is because if you mess up and like need to fix something, it's really easy to undo because all your tails are still sticking out, versus if you tucked them all in, then it would be like, oh my god, where'd I put it? So it's just better to leave it all untucked until you finish tying all your spikes in, and then you can tuck them all in. So we're at 2 spikes, and we'll just keep doing this all the way down. So for me, because I already made all my spikes, all I have to do is just undo that last stitch I did and put both ends on my finger. And then I just come exactly where I left off. Tie in that spike, go through the other half of the spike, and then I just pick a spot where it won't stretch out too much, because last time I accidentally stretched it out way too much. Just tie it in. And yeah, we just keep doing this all the way down the back of our dinosaur until he has all his spikes on. I also don't know if I put this one a little too far down, but I honestly think it's okay. Yeah. Are we good? I'm trying to make this sure I have enough space for all the spikes, but I think I kind of misplaced the first one, so we're gonna be crowding it a little bit. That's okay. I stretched this one out a little too far. I feel like you can kind of tell it's stretched out farther than these two. Maybe I'll fix that really quickly. But yeah, with the spikes, that's pretty much all we do. Just make sure you don't stretch them out too much so you have space for all 6. Or you can just do 5 and stretch them out if you want. It's up to you, honestly. I just did 6 because it's the number Zimmy had, so I just copied what she did. And I liked how it looked, so yeah. But now, because the first one was kind of weirdly spaced, I gotta like adjust the other two, so I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, see? Now you can kind of see that I've adjusted this one, that it's not as stretched out and looks better. So I'm gonna go ahead and move these other two up. You don't have to do that, you could just leave it stretched. It's just for my purposes. I'm gonna undo these two and then refix them. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll show you how to continue. It's just, I don't want you guys waiting while I adjust this, so I'm just gonna go adjust this really quick. But all I would do to adjust it is just untie the tails and then retie them where I want them. It's just trial and error. Spikes have been adjusted. As you can see, they're kind of like not stretched out at all. They look a little better. It was honestly me being picky. I could have left it and it would have looked fine. So if you're confused by this whole spacing thing, just if your spikes look how you want them to, You're okay. I think the most important part is just how I tie them in. So as long as you're tying them in similar to the way I am, but honestly, you could tie them in differently too. It's up to you. I just find that this works best. But yeah, so every time you tighten a spike, you just come right under where you tied the last one. In fact, into that exact same stitch. And then we'll just go ahead, pull that band through, tie it in, go to the other side, grab the other half, and then tie this in as well. Yeah, I think I got the spacing perfect now. Yes, I did. Look at me. But yeah, I'm just gonna tie the rest in. I'm gonna tie mine on camera just so you can see what I'm doing, in case it's helpful. But it's honestly not too bad. I think I do tie them in a little bit different than Zimmy does though. I think I was just a little confused by her instructions, so I invented my own way of doing it. But I think it still captures the overall look that she was hoping to achieve, so I hope she doesn't mind that I may have changed up how we attach the spikes a little bit. But it's okay. At least she might have attached them like this as well. I honestly don't remember. I stretched out this one too much. You can kind of see it. Honestly, the stretching them out too much thing is just like an eyeballing it thing, and after you've put a couple spikes on, you'll be able to recognize like immediately like, ugh, put that one too far away. Why is he all the way up there? I can't tell with this last one if I put it too close. I don't think I'm going to be able to tell until I do this last spike in. And then once you put all your spikes on, you can tuck in all the tails. I just like to leave them out until I know where all my spikes are because, as you can tell, oh my god, no, do not come out. Oh god, I just pulled that too hard. Okay, we're good. But as you can tell, I tend to adjust the spikes a little bit, so I find it helpful to just have the tails there. Ugh. I'm sorry, I'm trying to tie this last one in, but it's being weird for some reason. Stop. Like, literally, I just keep dropping the band. That's why I went off camera, because I'm like, why am I dropping the band? Okay, now I think I put the last few spikes too close together. Oh my god, okay, I'm gonna adjust the spikes one last time and then I'll come back. Honestly though, if you're having issues with the spikes, it is really just trial and error with the placement. First I had them too separate, now these are too close, I don't know. It's really trial and error, and that is definitely why you want to leave all these bands out until you're happy with the placement. I'm gonna just go adjust mine. Okay, so I tucked all my tails in as well just because I didn't want you guys to wait while I struggled to tuck in. Just whacked my desk. A bunch of tails, but I also just wanted to mention, if you end up with any of these like awkward gaps in the spikes, I noticed on this guy I did tie some of the middles of them down. I definitely don't need to tie all of them down. The way I tied them in works pretty well. But if you ever end up with like these weird kind of tiny gaps, you can always go through and then like tie them down. I think it kind of works to go through part of the spike and part of the dinosaur and the other part of the spike, which seems complicated for no reason, but I noticed I did that on the last one and it looks nice, so we're gonna just do it again. Just to tie it onto the dinosaur a little better. I keep dropping my bands. It's honestly just because I can't see what I'm doing when I'm on camera. I'm guessing. Looming blind over here. But yeah, I noticed I did put this guy's spikes a little closer together than on the last dinosaur I did. Definitely just do the spikes however you feel. Yeah, spacing is hard to get, but eventually you get there. So, yeah. So I think all of my dinosaur spikes are on how I want them to be. I've tucked all my tails in, which means we only have one thing left to do, which is to put a face on our dinosaur. I also realized before filming this that we should have put the eyes on before we closed them up. I always use beads, so I'm so used to beads and not safety eyes, but usually with beads I'll put them on at this point. So if you're using beads, now's a good time to put them in. If you're using safety eyes, we're just gonna stab them in and not to put the backs on, because I always forget to put my safety eyes in before we close up our dinosaur. So I just stabbed our safety eyes in. I'm gonna wiggle the backs on through some wiggling means later, but yeah. Definitely if you use safety eyes more than me and you're like, Ginger, why didn't you put the safety eyes in there? Just put them in, don't question me. I always forget the safety eyes in so many of my tutorials. But if you want to give him a cheek, you can just come right under where his eye is. And then pull a band through. Back one over the front one and pull it tight but not too tight. And then just hide the tail in. And then he will have a cheek. Like that. I'm gonna take his cheek out just because I have to fix his eye situation. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I'm probably gonna give this guy a little bow later, but I think that's pretty much it. Just one last thing, if you don't have beads for eyes, you can take 2 black bands. I know these are sparkly pink, but you would wrap them like 4 or 5 times around your hook, pull a band through, and then you could just use this band to tie into your dinosaur and it would work as an eye. Again, imagine it's black and not pink. But that's just an alternative if you don't have beads or safety eyes for eyes. Now that is it for this tutorial. So I hope you enjoyed making this dinosaur. If you make this dinosaur, definitely tag me and Zimmy in it. We would love to see your dinosaurs. Again, thank you so much, Zimmy, for allowing me to make this tutorial for you. I will leave her Instagram and YouTube and everything down below. You guys should definitely check her out. Subscribe if you want to see more tutorials from me. I promise I'll be back with more, as long as school doesn't lock me out. There's this design I'm really excited to make a tutorial for. I think I teased it before in another tutorial. It's like a really tiny cow. Yeah, I made a baby cow. I'm sorry, I'm so excited. And it's so small and so cute, and there will be, this is probably going to be the next tutorial on this channel, so yeah, subscribe if you want to see that. I also know I mentioned I would show you guys my dinosaurs that I've based my loom designs off of. It's kind of funny that Zimmy's design looks like one of my clay dinosaurs I always make, but I'm definitely working on like finishing my collection of clay dinosaurs with my version of these dinosaurs. But yeah, you can probably definitely see why they look like my loom dinos a little bit. Yeah, these are some dinosaurs I've made out of clay. And it's kind of funny because as of when I'm filming this, Halloween was just a few days ago. And I made a bunch of these like pumpkin dinosaurs, which are kind of so cute and they're so tiny, and I'm just planning to give them out to like a bunch of random people I know, so that's fun. But yeah, that's it for this tutorial. But yeah, I really think that's it for this one. So I'll leave my Instagram down below if you want to know where I disappear to when I disappear. I also post whatever designs are coming on there usually before I post on here, so if you want to see what I'm up to and what's coming, you should definitely follow me on Instagram. But yeah, like I said, I think that's it for this tutorial. I hope your dinosaur came out okay, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye!